Believe it or not, I once found this very gun in my hands in 4 different pieces. If you find yourself in the same place, this video is for you. I'm going to be bringing this Lancer Tactical back to life. A few years ago for Christmas, I got this AEG. As a matter of fact, it was my very first AEG that I've ever owned, and having gone from only Springer pistols and small-scale rifles to this immediate 400 FPS beast, I was fascinated by it. However, I encountered one problem. Once, I dropped it and found it in many different pieces in my hands. As an amateur airsofter, as you could say, I was absolutely terrified. The first thing I did was call the guys from Evike, explain my problem, and they told me I should just replace it, which is what I did. Little did I know, it was a very easy fix with this simple hop-up issue, as well as this bond in the upper receiver. At the time I didn't realize it, but if I could solve these 2 key issues, I would be fine in the future to play with this gun again. This sight would be crucial in making that happen. On top of that, however, I was having electrical problems with the lower receiver, but I will address those later. The real matter at hand, though, was fixing the parts that had come undone completely. This included the top rail and the back half of the lower receiver. And then I had the hop-up, which I really just had to replace. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you'll recognize this rail from somewhere. At the beginning of the year, I made a knockoff SSX 303 that gained me tons of subs, but you should recognize this rail. This is from the gun that I accidentally broke in half, and now I'm going to put it into the original firearm that it was meant to be, airsoft of course. To connect these 2 parts, I realized that I had to bond them in the front and the back, which I was going to use this specific rail for. Once I tightened them, all I had to address was the hop-up. Instead of trying to fix that, since that would be hard, I ended up just buying a new one since it was very cheap, and I used the original barrel as well because it was the correct length. This gun was already coming together, and not only was it going from many pieces into one, it was starting to come to life in my hands as well. Once I had the pieces sorted out, I realized that I needed to put everything together. So I took the upper receiver, the barrel, and the lower receiver, and put them together with the pin that originally came with the gun. Once I put that together, I made sure that the magazine fit, which as a matter of fact it did, and then I realized that I was still having electrical issues. So out of curiosity, I plugged in my battery to find a very, very pleasant surprise. It worked. After 2 years of sitting in my basement, it worked. Not only that, it shot perfectly fine. All I had to do was adjust the hop-up a little bit, and it was an absolutely beast of an AEG. Even though this used to be in so many different pieces in my hands, I had managed to fix it, which was a very pivotal moment for me, and I was extremely happy to have figured this out. So with that, this is addressed to the guy at Evike that told me to get a brand new gun when I could have simply fixed this. Probably wasn't your fault anyway, but I'm happy I learned to figure it out on my own. So for any of you out there who have found your very precious gun in many pieces in your hand, hold on to it. You may figure out the problem in the future. I hope you liked that video, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.